Hi, I'm Kirsten Amann. I am a member of the Boston chapter of Ladies United for the Preservation of Endangered Cocktails, also known as LUPEC. And I'm here today at Toro in the South End to teach you how to make a fabulous recipe for holiday punch. So basically, punch is believed to be derived from the Indian and Farsi word for five, which is panch. And the five denotes the basic ingredients for a classic bowl of punch, which are spirits, sugar, water, spice, and citrus. So the original versions of punch were very different from what we think of as sipping at baby showers and wedding showers, a sort of watery champagne thing. They're actually typically made with on the stronger side. They're very popular in the 17th century in India. And we're not sure if this was originally an Indian drink or if it was something that was innovated by English travelers there during that time. In any case, it was made popular and brought back to England and the English colonies by people who worked with the English East India Company. So the drink was very fashionable up until about the middle of the 19th century, when it became a little bit less cool to sit around the bar drinking an entire bowl of punch all day. It seemed, you wouldn't want to be considered someone who had that much time on their hands to sit around drinking all day. Although they did drink all day, they just did it, albeit in smaller forms. So you would have punches that were tailored to individual taste and made in a smaller size, which ended up being a precursor to the modern cocktail, which, as we know, is spirits, sugar, water, and bitters. Okay, so I wanted to give you a basic recipe for an 18th century bowl of punch with my own twist, a more modern twist, to show to you how easy it is to make your own bowl of punch during the holidays. So we're going to start by taking the peels of 8 lemons, and we're going to put them in the bottom of, I'm mixing in the punch bowl. At home you might want to do this in a different vessel if you're bringing it to a party or something like that. So you start with your lemons, then add about 1 3/4 cups of sugar. Okay. And you want to muddle. I know it seems like a lot, but we're also going to be using some pretty strong spirits for this. So you want to make sure you're absorbing all of the oils and juices. We're going to want to temper these spirits very much. Okay, so once the oils are nice and absorbed into the sugar, we're going to add our ingredients, our tea, and our alcohol. So what you want to do before you start muddling is make tea. I used a green tea for this recipe. You can really use anything you want because, again, this is your punch. We're following a typical template for an 18th century bowl, but you want this to taste however you want it to taste because this is your holiday party. So I used green tea. I took 2 tea bags and I steeped them in 2 cups of water for 5 minutes and then set it aside to let it cool. It's actually still a little warm, which is okay because what we're trying to do now is melt the sugar in with the oils of the citrus as we add our alcohol. So first I'm going to add the tea. Give that a good stir. Now it's time for the booze. For this recipe we're going to use a 750 of cognac. You can really use any kind of cognac you want. Cognac is a little pricey if you get on the higher end, so I would recommend any decent VS cognac for this. Okay. Is there anything as satisfying as dumping an entire bottle of booze into a punch bowl? I don't know. We also have for this 375 of dark rum. Again, you can use really any brand that you want. During the early days of punch, it probably would have been some really rough stuff, possibly made right here in our very own state of Massachusetts, because Massachusetts was the home of American rum for quite some time. Okay, and then adding my own twist on this recipe, I decided to scale back a little bit on the sugar from the original recipe that I was given to make this, and to add a few of my own favorite liqueurs. So today we're using Chartreuse, which is made in France. It's made by the Carthusian monks in the French Alps, which are a silent order of monks. They've been making it for over 400 years. And it's made from 130 different herbs and spices that are, it's a very proprietary recipe. It's a totally secret recipe known to, I believe, only 2 of the brothers who actually make it. So it's very herbaceous and delicious, a little bit spicy. So I wanted to use this to add a little bit of that sort of holiday spice, that Christmas spice that you think of in like Christmas cake or holiday cakes and treats that you're having. And the other ingredient I'm going to add is Benedictine, which is also made in France. It's also made by monks, and they've been making this since 1510. And again, the recipe is very proprietary, and it's considered an herbal liqueur. So I'm going to add about 6 ounces of each of these, but again, you'd want to do this to taste. So the Chartreuse is going to add spice to the punch, and Benedictine is a cognac-based liqueur, and it has a certain sweetness to it that I thought would balance out any of the heat that you might get from the alcohol, from the cognac and the rum. It's pretty boozy. I actually tested this with my parents, my mom, who has a sensitive palate, and she was able to talk me into putting a little bit more sweet into it, which is how I arrived at Benedictine. So this is what you want to do at home. You want to taste as you go and then see what you like. Scale back, add more, whatever you want. Okay, so now that's ready. So once all the sugar is dissolved, you want to put the punch aside. You can set it in the fridge to chill while you get ready for your party. We'll finish it up right before the guests arrive. Okay, so our party is about to start, so now we're going to finish making our punch. So the final steps involve adding our citrus, which we have here. You're going to want to add about 12 ounces of fresh squeezed lemon juice. You want to squeeze the lemon juice as close to the party as you can, because citrus gets really acidic if you let it sit for a while. Keep that in mind. Give it a good stir. And then I'm going to taste to see how strong it is, because we're probably going to want to add a little water. It's actually not too bad. So first I'm going to add my ice, and then we're going to determine from that how much water I need. So to make one major pre-party step that you want to do is to make a nice big chunk of ice for your punch. Simply fill a bowl to scale with the punch bowl with water about 2 nights before the party and stick it in your freezer. That way you'll end up with a nice, hard, dense block of ice that will melt slowly as the evening wears on. Okay. And I'm just going to I have about 4 cups of water here. I'm going to add about half of that now. Maybe add a little bit more as the night wears on. So to serve, once my guests arrive, I simply ladle the punch into our special punch glasses. And then we're going to grate a little fresh nutmeg on top. So we get the spice from the tea and the spice from the fresh nutmeg. There you have your special holiday punch.